Welcome to the 2017 St. Lou Fringe Festival lottery applicant video. Come with me and let's find out who could be in this year's Fringe. Let's go.
John Michael will cook his mother's meatballs on stage with the help of audiences to summon her back from the dead to meet and approve of his new boyfriend. How do you have a relationship with someone without a body?
Danielle Murray's Inconceivable and Other Absurdities is an aerobic journey through ins and outs of making babies the hard way. I'm very interested, Danielle.
The Buzzer tells the story of an everyday modern woman named Allie who thinks she's supposed to arrive at a marketing corporation for an interview, but instead is approached by a supreme being. This spirit gives Allie the chance to alter 3 instances in her life through the click of one object, a buzzer.
An absurd theatrical parody of a funeral speech, the eulogy features a menagerie of characters whose inept and inapt speeches give anything but a proper homage. The eulogy is the worst, or possibly the best, funeral speech ever given.
Lynn Rothrock's cabaret show is about the poetry and the lyrics and the magic of Leonard Cohen. And Lynn's voice is so beautiful and dynamic, and her show weaves his genius through the stories and tales of her life.
Totally Fucked is a new musical cabaret where each piece will be assigned a number that the audience will then choose at random in a different order each night, creating a new experience with each performance.
A bawdy old folk singer tries to burn down the barn one last time before his waltz is called with clowning, dirty jokes, and 5 instruments. It's ragged, but right.
A musician plays audiences' song requests with jaw harp, percussion, and some pre-recorded tracks. A menu of pre-prepared songs is available. However, audience members can request other, more ad-lib covers as well. Comedic patter is included between songs.
A dystopian one-act musical about a comedian whose job is called into question by a government who is not laughing. As the clock ticks, we learn about the outside world, the main character's life and family, and what starts as a joke slowly devolves into a desperate plea from a man who simply needs a job to put food on the table. Also, maybe this one-act musical is just about my life.
Our Boy focuses on parents of a child that committed a heinous sexual crime. It explores the parents that try to understand why their boy could have done such a thing.
Eric Brown explores the ways he's grown from an angry young man to a good father, husband, and comedian.
The best topics in the world are power dynamics, narcissism, and neuroses. And Stryker Spurlock is talking about all of them in his comedy show.
This is a 2-act rock/pop musical comedy set in Key West, which is in Florida, between 1950 and 1990. It'll take you on a romp through the highs and lows of the colorful characters who shape the town's unique, wild, open, and gritty vibe. And of course, there's a wonderful love story that thrives against the odds, which is a concept I'm not familiar with.
This is one woman's crusade to bring sexual pathology out of the darkness and into the light where healing can begin.
Straw to Gold Ensemble's responsibility is to the story, to uncover, not to create tales so real, so tangible, and full of their own life that they become worlds unto themselves. Their show is best described as a comedic, modern rendition of Dante's Inferno.
So when you first meet, you have sex a lot. And then as time goes on, you have sex a little bit less. And then as time goes on, you have no sex at all. This play is about that. No sex because time has gone on.
The stories of 4 working homeless people intertwine in the course of 24 hours in their life. Their story will both entertain you and make you realize that in any given 24-hour period, you will have been in contact with someone who is homeless.
The Women will be an intimate performance blending dance, spoken word, and music, telling the story of various women and their struggles with stereotypes.
Trying his hardest to be the best dad there is and making a couple jokes about our daily life while doing it, Emmerich Brown brings his experiences as a husband and father in America to the stage.
The Black Mirror Theater is bringing Afghan women writers' voices to the stage. They are bringing their actual words, their heartfelt sentiments, and their writings to the St. Louis audience, thereby spreading the word of Afghan women and the stories that need to be told.
So apparently there's a shortage of old straight white male stand-up comedians, and this dude, Brian McDowell, will be returning to the mic to combat the problem. He'll be talking about growing up playing with Jesus action figures, why the military shouldn't have a height requirement, and the Marvin Gaye shooting, and everything in between. Stand-up comedy.
Have you ever used Airbnb? You can imagine what type of stories hosts have to go through with their guests. This is what the show's all about.
Stand up for the politically and physiologically engaged. But more importantly, for those who are not, Andrew Frank looks to do comedy about comedy.
4 actors, 4 chairs, pretending to be in a car on a road trip. It's your best nightmare and your worst comedy.
A child performs weekly on the Perry Como show and discovers she isn't who she thinks she is. The small girl is caught in a web of time and circumstances that she just can't change.
A collection of monologues scattered with live music that reflect a few perspectives on the vastness of parenting and life.
Live jazz music and dancers showcasing a variety of 1920s to 1940s inspired numbers, recreating the feel of a vintage club and vaudeville group.
Colorblind is a celebration of the LGBTQ community through aerial arts, really weaving together the ideas and the magic of all of us being different colors and different types and making us one rainbow in harmony.
Tom Gray is a comedian slash weirdo from Springfield, Missouri. He will tell jokes and try not to have a mental breakdown.
A one-act comedic love letter to horror. 2 best friends face their own real fears in a haunted house, ending it with a laugh at the way these things keep us, all of us, from doing what makes us happy.
The Sum of Some Parts is a solo performance piece addressing masculinity that incorporates spoken word, song, and performance art into a tightly packaged theatrical exhibition.
WWE type wrestling in a stage play, in a wrestling rink, and it's theater. I'm in.
Erin Kelly, who is Cherokee and Shawnee, shares her experiences growing up in a multicultural family.
Filthy Humans is a variety show featuring performance artists depicting portraits of identity, accompanied by experimental music. They endeavor to borrow the structure of cabaret and substitute elements of conceptual art.
This artist uses magic, storytelling, and theater to give audiences a first-person perspective and account on what being on the autism spectrum is like. By allowing audiences to grow up with him, they can see in what ways his life is different and in how many ways it's exactly the same as their own, your own, our own.
It's concert rap.
Developed out of action research, Dance is My Therapy will show how dance movement therapy helps individuals achieve emotional, cognitive, physical, and social integration as a benefit to mental health and emotional healing.
In this ever-changing society we live in, it's often hard to feel like we have a place here. This one-woman show, led by Christina Goodwin, will explore the intricacies and intimacies of what it means to be human through a variety of vignettes, both spoken and song.
This opera tells a story of a mother-in-law rescuing her daughter-in-law from an abusive relationship that she's in with her son. Vagina sock puppets.
Is that it?
That's it.